Throughout the ages, women have made great contributions to mathematics and the sciences. Though not always welcomed by their male counterparts, the depth and breadth of their contributions ultimately had to be recognized. As we shall see, women met with great resistance by the larger society, but persevered in spite of these obstacles. Some famous examples begin with Hypatia of Alexandria, a Greek Neoplatonist who was the head of the Platonist school in Alexandria, Egypt. In addition to mathematics, she also taught philosophy and astronomy. A controversial figure, she was ultimately murdered by a Christian mob after being accused of fomenting a conflict between the governor and the bishop of Alexandria. Notable works of Hypatia included the editing of her father's commentary on Euclid's Elements and her text on astronomy. Jumping ahead to the 1700s, we meet Maria Agnesi, an Italian mathematician and philosopher. She is credited with writing the first book discussing both differential and integral calculus, and was an honorary member of the faculty of the University of Bologna. Later in her life, she was appointed by Pope Benedict XIV to chair of mathematics, natural philosophy, and physics at the university. She was the first woman ever to be appointed at a university. Moving ahead to the 1800s, we meet Ada Lovelace. The Countess of Lovelace was an English mathematician and writer, chiefly known for her work with Charles Babbage's early mechanical general-purpose computer, the analytical engine. Because of this work, she is credited with writing the first algorithm intended to be processed by a machine and is known as the world's first computer programmer. Another prominent female mathematician in the 1800s was Sofia Kovalevskaya from Moscow. She is known for her original contributions to analysis, differential equations, and mechanics. Denied an education in Russia, she went to Germany, to the University of Heidelberg, where she was allowed to audit classes with special permission. Persevering in her studies with private tutors, she was eventually allowed to do her doctoral dissertation at the University of Göttingen, with the support of her mentor Karl Weierstrass, a famous German mathematician. After her education, because she was a woman, she could not obtain employment at any university for 3 years. Finally, with much help from her mentor and many supporters, she was able to secure a position at Stockholm University in Sweden. Though many women were able to achieve success by virtue of birth in wealth and privilege, many rose from poverty. Ethel Marks Harrington, an English mathematician, engineer, and inventor, come from a humble working-class family. An amazing achiever, she accomplished much. She was able to study mathematics at Cambridge, and in 1880, she passed all her exams in mathematics, but because she was a woman, she was only granted a certificate, because Cambridge did not award degrees to women. Notable contribution includes articles in the Journal of the Institute of Electrical Engineers, election into the IEE as the first woman member, and medals for her research on electricity. The last person in our presentation, Marie Curie, was a famous Polish physicist and chemist working in France, and is known for her pioneering research on radioactivity. The first woman to win the Nobel Prize and the only person to win in multiple sciences, she was also the first female professor at the University of Paris. Her achievements included a theory of radioactivity, techniques for isolating radioactive isotopes, and the discovery of 2 elements, polonium and radium. She founded the Curie Institutes in Paris and in Warsaw, which remain major centers of medical research today. Marie Curie could not pursue higher education in Poland because of her gender, but had more opportunity in Paris, where she was awarded her doctorate from the University of Paris. In 1903, the same year she received her PhD, she was awarded an invitation to speak at the Royal Institution in London to give a speech on radioactivity. But being female, she was prevented from speaking, and only her husband Pierre, also a scientist, was alone allowed to speak.